Hello. This is Act 1 from my little novel called Across the Bars. This thing is not published, and this is the only way you can access it. I hope you enjoy and let me know your thoughts in the comments. Across the Bars by Leto Geyer. Act 1 An Uneasy Alliance. Chapter 1 Dawn on the Bridge. The ridge smelled of iron and old rain. Asha pressed her palm to the cold stone and felt the faintest tremor beneath it. A slow pulse, deep in the bar's spine. She closed her eyes, letting the vibration travel up her arm, through the ribs, and to the hollow behind her sternum where the stewardship chant lived. When the rhythm settled, she lifted her mallet and tapped the seam. Tap, listen, mark. The sound rang clear. No hidden fractures, no soft spots. The bar was stable enough to cross, at least for the next hour. In the shattered expanse, that was the closest thing to a promise the earth ever gave. Bristle padded up beside her, claws clicking softly on the stone. The phylex's fur caught the dawn light in silver streaks, and his long tail curled once around Asha's calf before flicking toward the horizon. He smelled something, or someone. Asha straightened, tucking her ledger tube behind her arm. "I know," she murmured. "We're not alone." The wind shifted, carrying the scent of dust, leather, and something faintly sweet. Dried fruit, maybe. A moment later, a figure crested the ridge from the western side, coat flaring behind him like a banner stitched from a dozen mismatched markets. He waved before she was close enough to speak. "Good morning. Beautiful day for a crossing, isn't it?" Asha exhaled through her nose. Rift folk, of course. Corin reached her with a grin that was far too awake for this hour. Bells soon to his coat chimed with each step, and Morrow, his phyletics, bounded ahead of him, tail high and eyes bright. Morrow circled Bristle in a playful arc. Bristle tolerated it for exactly 3 seconds before issuing a low, unimpressed growl. Corin planted his hands on his hips. "You must be Asha of Styreborn. Seamwright, ledger keeper, bar tapper extraordinaire. And you," Asha said, "you must be Corin of Riftfolk." Very loud. He laughed. "Accurate." She didn't return the smile. "We should begin. The Enclave trusted us with a sealed message, and the bars won't stay quiet forever." Corin patted the metal cylinder strapped across his back. "Right here, safe and sound. Pretty sure you're half as well behaved." Asha resisted the urge to correct him. There was only one message, split into 2 encoded halves, each useless without the other. Built-in safeguard, a forced partnership. He stepped past him on the crossing. "Stay close. The seam is stable, but only just. Lead the way, steward." He said it lightly, but the word still prickled. Asha ignored him and began the careful descent along the bar's spine. The ridge narrowed to a knife-edge path, the plates yawning far below on either side. One a cracked basin of ochre dust, and the other a shallow plate dotted with thorn brush and faint movement of distant herds. Halfway across, the tremor returned. Not the steady, predictable hum of shifting stone. This was sharper, closer. Asha froze. Bristle's ears flattened. Morrow's playful energy vanished in an instant. Corin's voice dropped. "That wasn't you tapping." "No, it wasn't." The tremor grew, a rolling shudder that traveled through the bar like a warning. Asha crouched, pressing her palm to the stone. The vibration was strong. Not a crack, not a collapse, a stampede. "Move!" she snapped. He sprinted along the edge, boots scraping stone, Phylex leaping ahead with fluid grace. The tremor intensified, dust rising in thin plumes along the bar's edge. Asha didn't look down. She didn't need to. She knew the sound of dire-boar hooves, even though they were before the first distant bellow echoed across the plates. They reached the far side just as the bar shuddered violently. A fissure split behind them with a sound like tearing cloth. Corin stumbled. Asha grabbed his arm, hauling him forward onto the stone as it cracked where he'd been standing. They collapsed into solid ground, breathless. Corin laid it on his back, staring at the sky. "Well," he said between gaps, That's one way to start a partnership. Asa didn't answer. She was listening to the fading tremor, Bristle's low growl, and the shifting wind that carried the scent of dust and anger. The expanse was waking. And whatever waited ahead, Tepper camps, floating markets, even the Heart Market itself, would not be gentle. Asa rose, brushing grit from her tunic. "Get up," she said. "We have a long way to go." Corin sat up, wincing. "You starborn always a swarm this morning?" She didn't look back. "Only on days where the world tried to kill us before breakfast." Bristle padded along beside her. Morrel bounded after Corin. The sun climbed over the bars, casting long shadows across the fractured land. Together, uneasily, unwillingly, unavoidably, they began the journey across the shattered expanse. That was the first chapter. Let me know what you think.